Hi, everybody. My name is JD Smith, and I'm the Technology Resource Teacher at John W. Bate Middle School. Today, we are going to talk about Google Classroom and Google Meet. Most importantly, we're going to look at it from a student perspective. Let's get started. Google Classroom. To access Google Classroom, go to classroom.google.com, and it's going to bring you up to a screen that looks like this with your existing classrooms already there. Now, for students who need to add a classroom, they can move over here to the little plus symbol. Click on it. It'll give you the option to join a class or create a class. We'll be joining a class. The next step, it's going to ask for the class code. Students can receive their class codes from their teachers during orientation. If for some reason you're unable to attend orientation or maybe got through orientation without all of your class codes, feel free to email the teacher directly and they can give you the class code that you're going to need. Now, we've already joined the class we're going to look at right here. So once you have your class added, they're going to show up in little tiles like this. Click on the name, and now we're into our Google Classroom. Here, you're going to see three tabs at the top: your Stream tab, your Classwork tab, and your People tab. The Stream is where all of the announcements are going to show up each day. This will mainly be the agenda for the day and previous virtual classes that have been recorded on Google Meet and then posted on Google Classroom. Also on the Stream, you have your upcoming assignments over on the left-hand side. This is good to take a look at every now and then just to make sure that you're staying on top of things and so you can manage your time as you try to get all of your assignments completed. The Classwork tab is where all of your assignments are going to show up. So any assignment that you have is going to show up here. We have one sample assignment. Let's take a look at it. So this is a sample assignment. You get your instructions here. If there's any links or materials, they're going to show up right below it. We click on View Assignment, and we'll get a little more detail. So we know that it's worth 100 points. We see our due date here, August 21st, 3 p.m. Class comments. Now, when we make comments in class comments, it's going to be for the entire class to see. So if we have a question that we think other students may be having within the class, here's a good place to post them, especially if it's about this assignment. Now, if I have a question and I don't want anyone else to see it besides the teacher, then I need to post it in the private comments. And that'll just go to the teacher so we can have a little bit of dialogue back and forth if there's something that I need more clarification on. So over here, we have your work. If I need to add in or submit something, I go to Add or Create. If it's something I've already created, I'll either use my Google Drive, a link, or a file and add that there, turn that in. Or if it's something that I'm going to create now, I can go down, create a new doc, slide, sheet, or drawing, and it will already be attached to this assignment. Once they're finished, once I've added something in, it'll give me the option to mark as done, or if I've added something in, it'll say turn in. Then we just click on that. We mark it as done. One main thing to keep in mind here is once documents are added and turned in, they become the teacher's documents. And until the teacher either grades it and returns it or provides feedback and returns it, the student won't have edit access. So just keep that in mind. Now let's head back out to the main thing. So that was the Classwork tab. Now we can see that we've turned it in. Next will be the People tab. This has my Brian Gover, my teacher, in it. If you ever need to ask a question or if your student needs to get a hold of your teacher, the easiest way, the little email icon over on the side. Click on that, email your teacher, let them know you're having trouble, or if you have any questions or concerns. Now, one of the main things that we're going to be using for virtual classes is Google Meet. An easy way for the kids to join a Google Meet, the link for joining will be right here in the header for your Google Classroom. When it's time for your Google Meet, click on that. Now, if you've never been on Google Meet before, we're going to talk about some of the basic features. First feature is making sure that your video is in frame and exactly the way you want it before you join the meeting, which I'm thankful for. So I can make sure, one, that I'm in frame here. I can adjust as I need to. If I want to join the meeting with my microphone off, which is something I highly recommend, especially in a classroom full of students, it's good to join with your microphone off. And then when your teacher asks you a question, or if you want to ask a question yourself, then you can unmute to ask the question and mute it back again. It just helps things run a little smoother. So if we want to mute our microphone, we click here. Now, if for some reason I want to have my video off, for whatever reason, we can choose here and we can turn our video off. Now, when we join, it's just going to have our icon, our profile icon is all that people will see. Can you still talk in the meeting with your camera off? Yes, you can. You can turn your mic on and you can still have conversations back and forth while being muted. While not having your camera on. We're going to turn our camera on. We see that our teacher, Brian Gover, is in the call already. Let's join him there. Hi, Mr. Gover.
Hello.
Okay, so some features that we have from within Google Meet. We still have the option to mute ourselves. We have the option to turn off our camera. And when all said and done and our class is over and we've got all of our instructions for the day, we can leave the call. Now, one good thing is if we accidentally leave the call, whoops, we can always go back and click rejoin. And it'll give us all these options again. And so if you accidentally leave the call, don't worry about it. You can always go back in and join. Hi again, Mr. Gover. Some other things that we can do. Down here, you have the ability to present. You can't really see that because of my embedded picture. You can turn on captions. You also have some other options here to help you with viewing your Google Meet, as far as adding in different tiles or other things. Most commonly, your teacher will probably be presenting something to you or showing you something from the camera on their end. So it's always best to try to keep them as large as possible. Up at the top, you'll see two options: chat with everyone and show everyone. When you click show everyone, it's just going to give you a list of the people that have joined. And the talk to everyone is going to give you an option to chat. Hello. So now we can chat. This is a really good feature. So if you need to ask questions and you don't want to unmute or you don't want to interrupt your teacher, throw your questions in the chat and your teacher can come back to them as they get time. So those are the basics of Google Meet. Thank you, Mr. Gover. See you tomorrow.
You're welcome.
So now, again, we have the option to rejoin or return to the home screen. We can just go back to our Google Classroom. Now we can come back and we can work on any work that we have to do. Since we turned in our assignment earlier, we now have no work due for this class. And now we just wait on feedback from our teacher or tomorrow's lesson. So this has been a brief overview on Google Meet and Google Classroom. Thank you. Have a great day.